The Animal Crossing series is no stranger when it comes to having rare and expensive merchandise. With items such as the incredibly limited custom Nintendo DS giveaway prize, 2001 Claw Machine plushies, and various promotional store display items, Animal Crossing collectors need to be armed with a deep and heavy wallet. One of these items, however, is particularly interesting and led to one of the biggest regrets in my video game collecting career. Let's talk about the Animal Crossing Pioneer program and why this game can demand prices upwards of $2,000. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about the history behind this mysterious disc. In August of 2002, a few months before the game's American release, Nintendo decided to hold a contest where 125 teams of 2 would be selected as winners to receive copies of the game 1 month early. For whatever reason, Nintendo decided to make this a writing contest, and in 50 words or less, teams had to explain why they deserved to be pioneers. This was the Animal Crossing Pioneer program. Aside from receiving the game early, winners received a 59-block memory card, 2003 Animal Crossing calendar, and a letter congratulating them on their accomplishment. They were also given access to a forum where they could talk about the game and give direct feedback to Nintendo. Finally, near the end of the program, pioneers were given the chance to have an online chat with members of the game's localization team. This was a pretty unique contest that helped generate hype for the game since it had never seen an American release to this point, while Japan had already seen Animal Crossing games on the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube. Now you may be wondering, what kind of submission was Pioneer worthy? Well, luckily, I was able to dig up an old forum post on animalcrossingcommunity.com from one of the winning teams, consisting of a Mr. Josh and a Mr. Alex. They briefly described the contest and then shared the haikus that earned them Pioneer status. Josh's reads 24/7, 365, or 6 per year, Animal Crossing. If can't Pioneer, Mario would stay in Cube. Legs would atrophy. Alex's reads, Night and Day System. It sounds promising to me. Acting as if real. And when connected to my small Game Boy Advance, possibilities. What's even cooler is that using the Wayback Machine, I was actually able to find the complete list of 250 winners, and sure enough, Josh and Alex were on it. This list also doubles as a handy guide when it comes to paying the winners a visit and robbing them of their hard-earned Pioneer discs. Purely hypothetical though, of course, legally just a joke. Being such an exclusive prize, you'd expect it to be way different from the actual retail game, right? Well, actually, the game is completely identical to the standard release, down to the byte. Even the case and manual are 99.99% the same, with the only difference being a small, for promotional use only, not for resale, printed on the front of the disc. Of course, this warning was not enough to stop people from selling the game for absurd amounts of money online. At the time of me making this video, there's only one copy for sale on eBay. The seller is asking an astonishing $1,900. In the item description, he states that the last 2 recorded sales of the game sold for $1,525 and $2,700. And I remember around a year ago, somebody was asking $15,000 for one. Not that it sold for that much, of course. So I guess considering past sales, $1,900 is actually pretty fair. Sometimes I get bored and browse eBay just for fun. My heart drops every time I stumble across one of these Pioneer discs. The price does nothing but get higher and higher. Remember a few minutes ago how I said this disc led to one of the greatest regrets in my video game collecting career? Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to say is gonna make you cry and pee your pants. At a point in time, I owned not 1, but 2 of these legendary treasures. I had 2 out of the 250 Animal Crossing Pioneer discs in the entire world. I didn't win these from the contest or anything though, I simply bought them on eBay. Pardon me while I do a little flexing, but back in 2016 I actually had a pretty respectable Animal Crossing collection. At the time, it was literally the biggest documented Animal Crossing collection in the entire world. No joke, no cap. I had all sorts of cool shit such as plushies, promotional displays, figures, cards, and yes, 2 Pioneer discs. I also owned a calendar. This was 5 or 6 years ago though, so there were not nearly as many Animal Crossing collectors as there are today. This meant that I was able to scoop up all sorts of cool stuff on the cheap. I'm getting sick to my stomach just thinking about it, but I was able to get both discs and the calendar for only $200 total. Here's the picture of both Pioneer discs with both calendars in all of their glory. Absolutely beautiful. It's pretty cool to look back on this little bit of history, but it also makes me a little sad since I sold off my entire Animal Crossing collection back in 2018, and I definitely got nowhere near the $2,000 these things go for today. To pay tribute to this dark and twisted event, I've decided to channel my inner Pioneer and carefully craft a handwritten haiku to properly communicate my feelings on the matter. Please enjoy. The Pioneer Disc. I once loved and once cherished. Then, abandonment. Let me know if that was a pioneer-worthy performance in the comments section below. Anyways guys, that's all I got for you. That's the story of the Animal Crossing Pioneer program and why it haunts me to this day. To anybody out there that collects cool stuff, please don't be a dumbass like me and sell it all. Keep it all so that when you're an old wrinkly sack of shit, you can look back on your collecting days with a smile on your face. Thanks for watching and peace out.